One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. What's the word, y'all? Bad truth is in the building. What's going down? Man, another Sunday. Oh, man. Feels good. Feels good. Oh, man. Listen, I got a lot to talk about today, but then again, I got to do like a recap of the weekend real quick. Happy birthday to my Uncle Marshall, man. 74 years old. Thank God for him. And thank God for everybody that participated in that birthday party. From the people that cooked the food, which was fire. They didn't have no fish. I missed out on the fish, but the red beans and rice was fire. The greens was fire. The chicken was fire. Potato salad was fire. I love when black people come together and get down. Man, you think what I'm saying? We do it. You already know. Turn up for Christ or burn up for life. I ain't playing with nobody. For real, for real, for real. But yeah, man, I want to try to do something real quick. Uh, I want to try to see. Okay, I was really trying to see if I can share my stuff with Instagram because I'm trying to step up the different platforms, man. So like I said before, if y'all rocking with your boy and y'all like what we doing, do this, man. Share the page. So we can try to turn up and try to get this thing really cracking. I'm doing the best that I can do to try to up my level, like far as like bringing you like different like little stuff like this, like the restream. And so, man, I check out a lot of podcasts, and I kind of feel like we really ain't doing nothing that they ain't doing. You dig? So why not us? You know what I mean? A couple of thousands of views and stuff like that, man. Straight up, your boy Bear Truth in the building or something. You know what I mean? So I gotta work hard on these pages, man, and just this is a job, fam. Like for real. Because a lot of times y'all don't even understand, man. Like when I be coming on here, I be trying to figure out like stuff to wear. Like so, if I stand up, I got on pajama pants. But from the waist up, you dig? I just be trying to put on just because I know people is watching. Like I was telling y'all before, like when I was sitting over there in the chair and I was giving them like a view of the whole outfit, we was like into like a couple of hundred views, you know, as if people was tuning in like to see if he was gonna get fresh. And so I got a motto, man. When you look good, you feel good, you do good. That's the truth. But like a recap, man, on the weekend, Uncle Marshall's birthday, that jumped off. It was good to see Chesney, little Chesney, a bunch of, family members that you hadn't seen in a while. You know what I mean? Rodney and Perry was there. You dig what I'm saying? And so that was a blessing, you know what I mean, to give out some hugs, man, and see some people like that. The Jacksons, man, is my family through Horse, my father, man, and looking at Marshall. And Marshall's like gray hair, man, him and Horse favor each other so much. I was just like sitting at him, and then I took a couple of pictures, and I was blowing them up and looking at him. I'm like, dang, I miss my dude, you know. And so, shout out to Marshall again. Happy birthday to him. But big shout out to Reverend Christopher Parker Jr. Um, at Mount Sinai yesterday. Oh man, we was blessed. So this guy right here, he is the cousin of Emmett Till, and so he and Emmett Till was up from Chicago and was down there visiting the South. And this was back, I want to say like 1955, when he whistled at a white lady coming out of a grocery store. And a couple of days later they came to his house and made it seem like they was gonna question him. And they turned around and they beat him. And then they killed him and tried to weigh his body down with like rocks and put him in the river. And somebody seen him and he came up floating. And they had beat him up so bad that when they sent the body back to Chicago, the mom was like, nope, she wasn't going to do a closed casket. She opened it up for the whole world to see, you know? And so a lot of times you might catch that Jet magazine where they had a vision of his face and how bad that the people from down south was doing people like blacks, lynching them and stuff like that. And so I got a chance to chop it up with my mom, you know. I came in the house and I was excited just showing her the book because he was selling books and he also autographed the book for me and stuff like that. So I was letting her check out the book. But as I was telling her how people was like standing up and talking, saying like what was going on down south, like say if you was up from the Midwest and you had family down in Mississippi, Alabama, anywhere down Louisiana, if you went down there for the summer, like in the 50s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, there was a certain way that you used to have to act. Like I did not know that they had to call people like yes sir, yes ma'am if they was white. So my great grandmother, my Betty, she was just telling me how, she used to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir to like 8-year-old kids because they was white. And a lot of times, if you didn't respect them in that manner, that they would mess around and, you know what I mean, disrespect you. And if they could, you know what I mean, they'll follow you to the crib or do something bad to you. And so by him whistling at a white woman, uh, they came down and they did something bad to him. But people that was in the church that had been down there visiting, they noticed that there was a certain way that they had to carry themselves as black people. And so then, man, my mom got to opening up. She got to telling me some stories from the South and some our family and stuff like that. And so one day, man, I'm gonna try to get her to glam up and put her on the show. And I really wanted to get my Uncle Tomali on the show while he was down here, man, because you get to talking to them and they got some stories, man, from down in Mississippi and stuff like that. And then Unc just got stories, period. But if I can get her glammed up one day and open her up, maybe get her on her phone to tell me some of the stuff that she was telling me like yesterday, I think it would be important that y'all hear that stories about my grandmother. And maybe I might do that on a listen and learn Monday. I might talk to her and then just jot down the information and come back and bring it to you because it was so deep. Some of the stuff that she told me kind of made my stomach hurt. You know what I mean? About some things that my great grandmother went through with having kids. And so I'm gonna save that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a segment. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna talk about. It's gonna probably have something to do with like sex abuse, because a lot of our women were raped down in Mississippi and down there, and the white man could just go in there and just have their way with them, and the husband could be right there, and the one thing you could say, you dig what I'm saying? Just think about how does that sound? Like y'all so cold hearted and so bogus that you can go and rape my wife in front of my face and ain't nothing I can say about it. You know what I mean? What's up out there? Man, I'm waiting for you to be on the show too. You know what I mean? I know you got a lot of knowledge. I've seen you tune in when I had uh the first lady Lafayette on here. Hopefully, cuz you make it back safe and sound. I seen you down in Houston. Shout out to you. I got some good feedback. Some people that bought the book said that they was truly inspired by the book. So keep doing your thing. Shout out to her who came through here and blessed us like last Monday. Out there is another one of my friends. She is an ordained minister, a female minister, man. And so I'm ready for her to come and bless us with some knowledge too. But yeah, sex abuse. If anybody, I might have to revisit Catrice, my sister and stuff like that. She wanted to talk about that stuff. Let's open up about it, man, and bring it to the bare truth. You know what I mean? And talk about some real live stuff. But he was at Mount Sinai this weekend. Make a long story short, Emmett Till's cousin, and he was there when they came and got him out of the bed, and they never seen their cousin again. And so there's movies on it, there's books on it. You know what I mean? Biden and them is trying to pass an Emmett Till's bill where they trying to get like $1 billion a year to go to unsolved mysteries and cases. Because a lot of us, man, we die in our community, man, and the police don't even be trying to try to figure out who killed you. So we go through stuff like that. But yeah, man, another Sunday. So this is what we're gonna do. Remember last week, man, I did this little play on words. It was like a salute to my future wife. And basically, what I was doing was just going through like some qualities and stuff that I had been studying on, you know, of what like a female would look like if she was your wife. And this week I did it again, part two. I posted a couple of pics because I got dressed up a little bit yesterday to go to the church to check that out and then go through Uncle Marshall's birthday. So, thank y'all for shouting out on the pictures and the comments on that, and then the people that even jumped on my story for the haircuts and stuff like that. So I'm trying to keep it positive and trying to keep it moving. And so I appreciate y'all when y'all support me, man. And like I said, share the page, man, so we can get these followers up. So ain't no telling what we might try to do with it. But part two, I told y'all we was gonna come from the male's perspective of what a man should look like, some of the qualities that he should have. And ladies, you know, I'm not saying okay, every guy's perfect or like, that you just gonna run into your ideal guy. But I think like this, man, and I don't know if anybody with me, man. It seemed like, I don't know, maybe it's like just when you cross that 40 marker, you start thinking like, man, eventually I want to get married. I don't know what you're trying to do with your life, you dig what I'm saying? But when you think about it, when you was young, all that playing and running in the streets, as you get older, man, you thinking like, man, a lot of that's just senseless. It's just a bunch of foolishness. You really need to try to go find somebody that love you, that's gonna put up with you, and you're gonna put up with them for the rest of your life, and get going on this course. Because when you get married, you represent the trio in heaven, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, man, woman, child, sun, moon, stars. I keep telling y'all that. And so whenever you get married on earth, it's a union. God does everything in a covenant. And so when you exchange vows in a covenant, God can bless that relationship. You know, he's always against fornication because being intimate and having sex is a lot deeper than what y'all think it is. It's a lot deeper than, you know what I mean, you running around trying to tell your homies like, man, I just left him over Shorty's house. I just knocked her back out. Fam, ain't no telling. Okay, let's say he did or he didn't. Who knows? Who cares? But meanwhile, you dig what I'm saying? Uh, what you doing while you over there, whatever you call yourself doing, you pulling away from her soul. And Shorty, you know what I mean? You pulling away from his soul whenever y'all become intimate. And so I learned this when I was in prison. And to keep it 1,000, man, everybody loves sex. You can't say you don't. So if you ever had sex in this life, you can't say I don't like sex. You like sex. You love it. Unless you just, you know what I mean, somewhere in your 70s and your 80s and it just ain't working for you no more. You know, I don't know what menstrual is, what women go through when they say they go through that little period. But even then, you got some cougars out here that's still going hard. You know what I mean? So stop playing all the time. But listen, when you have sex with a person and that person is not your husband or your wife, you got to understand, man, you pulling away from that person. And that person could probably be toxic. That person could probably have some other things going on. That person probably been attaching this spirit to some other people. And so you got to be mindful of that. And you know, we ain't perfect when we do that. But you know, when you do get intimate with somebody, you know, at least if they ain't your husband or your wife, you better keep it right there. You dig what I'm saying? You better try to keep it right there. And I know like a lot of young people, my nephew Marty and them, they said they be watching. So I always run into like a bunch of young people that be like, man, we be watching the bare truth, man. It be going hard. So that's a little lesson for y'all. I know it don't mean a much to y'all right now. What up, local Los? I know it don't mean a lot to you like right now because now that he just tapped in, man, we was not thinking about that. And what was so crazy, me and Los was sharing women at the same time. We got into a habit of doing that. I'm not glorifying that, but I'm just talking about when we was in our sin, we was really doing it to death. And so just think how that can mess up your mentality and your move, the way that you move and groove in life, because you're just sitting up here playing the game and attaching your life to so many different people. And see, the soul is where you get your thinks, your thoughts, how you love and how you know, you think about stuff and how you discern. So if you out here and you doing it like that and you fornicating, only thing I could tell you is that you're not gonna hear from God. Let me take these glasses off just in case they're giving off too much glare. But you're not gonna hear from God, and that's a scary place to be. And so when I say salute to my future wife, uh, let's just go back like last week what we was doing. One of the things I said that the women's a couple of the qualities a woman need to have, man, she need to have wisdom, you know, about uh, being, you know, not wearing her sleeves on her shoulder so much. You know what I mean? And being not saying, okay, now that I got you, now that you my husband, I got you. Always be ready to reinvent yourself for your husband. Dress up, be sexy, role play if you got to, but keep it interesting and stuff like that. Because when you're in a lifelong marriage, sometimes it's easy to say, man, I'm tired. You wake over, you snoring, and you know, you get used to people farting. And man, it's life. We live together now. We a couple. We together. It's us, you know. But you got to keep that thing going. um Always make sure that you leave space to let the man be the leader of his household. And it's not for you guys to like lead it over her and like try to punish her or make her feel like she's less than a woman. But what we basically like saying is, ladies, don't try to fight him for dominance. You know what I mean? Don't try to out argue your man or try to embarrass him in public or try to embarrass him in the house, because that's right there is going to be a quick way to make him leave. Another thing is the lack of approval. Always make sure that your man is getting approval from the crib, because he can definitely find it in the streets, whether it's with D boys, whether it's with another chick, somebody else. You know what I mean? Be proud of him when he do something proud. Let him know. Pat him on the back. You know, um, make sure he feels like okay, you his number one fan. And then number four, one of the things that I think is very big is a filthy house reflects a bad character for a woman. You know what I mean? And even though I don't think that she should be the only one cleaning up, we already talked about it, fellas. You got to get in there and do the chores. But kids, while y'all here buying these kids all of this stuff, if your kids ain't doing no chores, they need to be hit in the mouth. I'm telling you right now, they need to be chopped in the throat for real, for real, for real. Because I see a lot of fresh kids, fly kids doing this and that, and they don't even know no chores. They don't even want to take out the trash. For real, for real. And so I just wanted to give you a recap of what we was doing like last week. So again, part two, salute to my future wife. Ladies, one of the first things we everybody need to be mindful of this right here. If you husband material or if you wife material, you was that before I met you, you know? And I should be that before you meet me. I should already be prepared to be that. The worst thing that you can do is try to find a dude and think that you're gonna build him to be a husband. Stop trying to take on a project and thinking you can fix him up. If I buy him some shoes, I'll help him get a job. My uncle and them is hiring. I'm gonna get him over there working with my uncle and them. And girl, he gonna be all right. He just needs some help. You're gonna build him up, and fam gonna leave you for somebody else. What's say? Then one song. Then he get on and leave your ass for a white girl. Get down, girl. Go ahead and get down. You know what I mean? But listen, that's very serious. A man has got to have, that husband type material or that husband type energy. He got to be the husband type before you meet him. And we'll talk about that. um Let me see. One of the things I wanted to point out too is because uh a lot of women's always say that they have a type, you dig, and sometimes your type could probably be toxic, you dig. And so here you are, you trying to figure out, oh, you got to be 6 feet, 200, 190, 200 pounds, tall, dark, and sexy. And like I said, man, fam can be leaving you with black eyes. And just because he's tall, handsome, and dark, or whatever you want to call it, your type, don't mean that he ain't got an anger issue. What you need to be doing is try to figure out somebody who is attracted to a mission. Because this is one thing that I did learn when we would study about Adam and Eve. Adam was already formed before God even created, took the rib and made Eve and brung Eve to him. He had already named the animals. He already had his mission on earth. He said, go be fruitful and multiply. Then all of a sudden he said it's not good for man to be alone. So then he created the woman, and then Adam was like, finally, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. It's like now he complete because now he got somebody to handle this task that God has given him. God give him a job. So if you ever run into a dude, you should be attracted to his mission. Do he love God? And like, what is his goals like? You know what I mean? Do he got goals? What is he thinking about himself? And that's like one of the number one things I'm gonna talk about. But I just want to kind of get this summary. And matter of fact, um, before I do that, I want to I want to we're gonna let's check this video out real quick. I got a little video I want to show y'all of this dude named R.C. Blakes, and he's cool. And basically, he's gonna say three different ways you can figure out if a man loves you. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do it because he kind of sums it up. But then I'm gonna break it down and we're gonna talk about it. Hold on, I'll be right back.
So you want to know if a man really loves you. Um, well, I mean, nobody's God, right? But here's some great things to focus on. I believe these three things are definitely a part of the process or part of the equation if a man actually loves you. You'll be able to tell by his language. His language will always empower you, will make you feel desired, will make you feel beautiful. His language will make you feel safe. You can also tell by his energy. His energy is what you sense from him when he's not saying a word. And then ultimately you can tell by his treatment. When a man loves you, he's going to do at least two things. He's going to always be consistent, and he's going to be conscious, because when a man loves you, he learns you. Just my thoughts.
Okay. And so I like the other version that I had because it was showing his words, and so that descriptive kind of gives you like a thing. And he said like some very serious stuff, like he's consistent, he has an energy, and he pursues you. So number one, listen to this. Um, Sometimes I'll get like some young ladies, and I'll say they might be like 30s or something like that. They might compliment me on my pictures or something like that. And so if we ever get into a conversation in the inbox or something like that, the first thing I'll always say, like, shorty, I understand, but there's an age gap. You got to understand, I'll never lie about my age, but this is grown man shit. And excuse my language, didn't mean to say it like that, but grown man ish. And sometimes they'll think that, you know, maybe you trying to say, okay, sexually, this is something, or like you just macho macho. But no, grown man just means that I'm at this age, like right now, where we ain't playing. We ain't just about to be like messing around and then it just leads to nothing. I'm not wasting no more time. So when I say I'm on some grown man ish, I'm talking about like, listen, I'm looking for a wife, for real, for real. Now, besides all that, I'm never, to the point where I can't be big enough to let you know, like, listen, fam, I suffer. I got some issues mentally. I'm struggling. You know what I mean? I had to see a psych. I just did like 15 years in the joint and it's messing with me, you know? But at the end of the day, when it comes to like being a man, his mental has to be right. Look, mama, I'm saying like when you talk to a guy, check out his conversation. You know what I mean? Like, listen to him sometimes. A lot of times if you listen to a person, they'll tell on themselves. They'll tell you who they are. Like, what kind of conversation do he got? Do he got a grown man conversation? Do he got a childish conversation? Do he do a lot of cussing? Is he talking like a thug? You know what I mean? Because when you listen to him and you start listening to the words that he chooses to use all the time, now everybody cuss here and there. And I mean, I'm so trying to get it out of my system again like I had it before because I done it. You know what I mean? I really killed the cuss words. And so it's about discipline, and being able to talk without cuss words is a plus because when you get ready to go corporate, you just have to level up. And, when you take those words out of the equation, you got to replace them with something else. And then these words is more meaningful. So, number one, you dig what I'm saying? He has to have a mentality. He has to have a husband mentality. So if he's got like a little boy mentality where he still want to talk like rappers in the rap songs, or him and his guys on the phone, or when they get together, listen to how they talk and how they carry themselves. Number two, look at the people that he hang with. You know what I mean? If he hang with a bunch of guys that's disrespectful and disrespectful to women, but like when he in your face, he's trying to be cool, 9 times out of 10, he's disrespectful to you behind your back. Because when he hang with cats and they talk like that, and these is his guys, and this is how they get down, he's a part of the pack. That's how he get down too. So let me get my chest back up here just in case y'all chime in. I want to make sure that y'all I'm saying something. All right, y'all talking to each other. Uh okay, Heather, that was love because we're gonna talk about that. That's a very deep statement. When a man loves you, he learns you. But one of back to the mentality that I was speaking on. I'm gonna get to that one. I just want to leave that up there. He's got to have a conversation, verbally speaking, mature. It's cool to have a sense of humor because I love to laugh. You know what I mean? If anybody rock with me, I'm a jokester. I like to crack jokes. And when I say grown manish, if we cool, it's okay to have like a managed conversation, long as it's respectful. And you dig what I'm saying? Because who don't want to be intimate with a person who can't, you know what I mean? You don't got like no type of dirty talk. You dig what I'm saying? You got to have that to lighten up the love life. So it's got to be there. So you can have a little bit of mannish in you, but as long as it's for you, you dig what I'm saying? So keep speaking and you live this. Hey, that's nephew. What's up, Neff? I just got done speaking about you. Right on for tapping in. My little nephews and them came and got a haircut today. But I mean, he has to be mature. Sense of humor is cool. But let me ask you this: does he pray? You know what I mean? If you hollering at a guy, see if he got a prayer life. If he's really mature, he gotta have a prayer life. He can't be scared to pray in front of you. He can't be scared to hold your hand and pray. Because if he's scared to do that in there, then that means that he ain't got no fear or reverence for God. And if he ain't got no fear or reverence for God, which is a love for God, I don't see how he can love you, because that's got to come first. Now, and if you don't believe in God and you on some universal and you do all of that, maybe I ain't talking to you, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Is he concerned with your day? How many times do you know what I mean? He tap in and be like, how was your day? Check you out and see how you doing mentally and emotionally. Just, want to see, how you feeling, see if there's something he can do. B, what kind of goals does he have? Is fam ambitious? Do you see him motivated to move and groove to, what I mean? Like, say for instance, what if he's just working like a little part-time job, or what if he just got a job that he don't really like? Is he leveling up to save them checks and then he's trying to reach for something else? Is he going back to school? Is he trying to do he ever discuss goals with you where he want to be like in 2 years? Where do we see himself in 5 years? Where do he want to be? If fam ain't got no goals or no plans, how can you be a part of that? He ain't even trying to figure his own. Like he ain't got his life together. So you playing yourself if you really think you finna jump in there and you finna be his wife and like he finna change for you. Man, people gotta stop being stupid, man, because if a person ever say, man, I met this girl and she made me change my life. Nah, fam. Your life should have been changed before you hollered at her. You dig what I'm saying? She should have been checking you out the gate. And if it's some people that feel like that they made it like that, to each his own. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. I feel like these qualities has got to be in you when y'all meet each other. And I'm saying, so guess what? If y'all young and y'all in y'all 20s and stuff, I could say there's a little bit of leeway to because you're still trying to figure it out. But I'm talking about like, man, when you like mid 30, 40 plus, you should have been growed up by now. You know what I mean? Like what kind of lifestyle? Who is his friends? We already talked about that. Who are they behind the scenes and stuff like that? Make sure that you figure out his mentality because that's going to tell a lot. And that's going to start with his conversation, the people he hang out with, and what kind of goals he got. You know what I mean? If he getting up and he going to work. Number two, he should have been prepared. Like we were saying before he met you. You know what I mean? He should have been prepared because a real husband is always looking for a wife. He ain't just trying to have sex with you. It's so many times like um people out here and they having these miscellaneous relationships. And so, ladies, the only thing I could tell you is that it subtracts from you. It subtracts from your beauty when you slept around. I don't know, you could say that about a bunch of dudes too, because nobody, what I mean, wants to be with a guy who been slept around and stuff like that, been doing that. But the only thing that it does to a woman who's been sleeping around with a bunch of multiple guys, it damages your body parts. So now all of a sudden you get with a person and you just been having like so many sex partners that you just worn out. You don't, you know what I mean? You ain't even you and you know what it is. So I'm just telling you, it subtracts from you. So every time that you having these little bitty illicit sex affairs or little bitty affairs that ain't going nowhere, eventually, man, when you get older, you gonna want to get married. I don't care who it is because y'all been playing house ever since y'all was little kids. So stop sitting up here trying to act like you don't want to get married. You was forcing people to be your husband back in the day. You had dolls and stuff, making them kiss. The Ken and Barbie and all that. Um, and that's it. Don't waste time with just sleeping around. Sex is easy, but being romantic and like dating, that stuff that becomes like a mission, a priority, a duty. Like remember dude was saying in church yesterday, he said love is a duty. You dig what I'm saying? And even though you don't want to do it, you have to show people that you love them. It's a mission, it's a priority. So when you get with a guy, if you think that he's husband material, he's got to make sure that you're a priority. He's got to be thinking about you. He should be pursuing you. No woman should have to pursue a dude, because I'm gonna tell you something. When you pursue this guy and you start doing more of trying to court him than he's trying to court you, and that's an old school word that they used to say down in Mississippi. So it's basically like, you getting with a girl and stuff and you taking her out, you offering her, let's go to dinner, let's go to a movie, let's go do this and that. But if you so quick to do it for the man, you don't give him nothing to do. And when a man ain't got a mission, he's gonna lose interest. And so if that's one of the things that you're doing, I'm just gonna tell you right now, real men like to pursue the women because that's what they do. They hunters. They always on top. They like to, what I mean, and not chase you. Like, cause he looking for something sexual, cause he see that you got a thick body, or he seen you in the club, twerking, and now he on your bumper trying to get at you. But I'm talking about pursue you. Like, okay, I want to see what you got going on. Okay, this weekend you off. Listen, let me slide through and swoop you. Let's go bowling or something. Let's go out here. Let's go. I got my friend and them. They having like a little get together. Come on, you want to slide through with me? You will know when a guy is mature and that he's husband material because his energy is different. You know what I mean? He really secure. I mean, he's like wrapped up into trying to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you feel secure. If that makes any sense. Let me see what I got on the back of this. And he should be financially able to take care of himself. Doesn't mean that family's got to have all the bread. You dig what I'm saying? He don't got to be rich. So stop all of that because a lot of times you want somebody that's what I mean, out here D boy or balling. You know what I mean, and you want him to take care of you. You think he should buy you some shoes and some purses and stuff like that, and not all the time. You dig what I'm saying? Stop playing all the time. You get to watching movies and get to listen to these dumb rap songs Your ass gonna be single for the rest of your life, sitting up here listening to Glorilla and Sweetie and them. You dig what I'm saying? Keep on bumping that, and then think that you finna settle down with somebody. But one thing about a man, though, ladies, if this makes any sense, like say for instance, if you're a boss, and I like to see boss ladies, I like to see ladies that's on top of their square, making moves. He should still be able to make your life easier. It doesn't mean that he have to step in financially, like he's got to have the money or nothing like that. But like when you get with him, is there certain qualities that he have about himself that that can make like life easier for you? You know what I mean? Like he just move and do things. I don't care if it ain't nothing but carrying some furniture, helping you move and switch the living room around, putting up a bed or something like that. You know what I mean? He got to be able to bring something to the table. There has to be like a general strength about fam somewhere, and it's got to be something that makes you feel secure in being a woman. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. And again, stop trying to build a husband just because you got bread, because that's not gonna work. One thing about dudes, man, and I'll just use me as an example. I throw myself up under the bus. Coming home from the joint, you know, in there, we big on trust. So your word has got to be your bond. Don't ever, what I mean, like lie to, a person that's coming out the joint, because they're gonna take it offensive, and there's always grace and there's always second chances. I believe in that. But coming out of the joint, man, you be so wrapped up into this life where you got this macho spirit on you, man. Your word is your bond, so you don't lie to people, or you know what I mean, which they do it. But I'm talking about the real ones that got a rep for being real. They always keep their word, and so they try to come out here and try to hold people to them same standards, and sometimes it just don't work. And so sometimes you're gonna get let down, because in the joint there's a certain way that you got to carry yourself, and when you are on top of your square and you're a real person, it gives you them props in the joint. You know what I mean? And people, they respect you. I don't care if you small or care if you big. But if you're a man of your word and you ain't, you know what I mean, and you do what you say you're gonna do, a lot of times it's gonna get you respect. And so when you get out here and you dealing with people, ladies, that's a turn off. If a dude catch you lying or something like that, or if you know what I mean, try to talk to him a certain type of way, he gonna feel, crazy. You gonna run him off. And another thing that I hate is that I was never one of those leech type dudes. I don't want no woman buying me nothing. I feel like if we was in a relationship, like if we was together, I think I would be able to accept it. And I understand it. It's not a bad thing. But you know what I mean, as a man, as he trying to get back on his feet, I think that's some of the women's tendency. You know what I mean? Because if you see a man grinding and you jump in the fire with him and you try to make him better, I like that. But don't try to build a man, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? All right. Another thing that you should be looking for, little mama, what'd you say? In the joint, you can't fake. You will be exposed. That's right. Read that one. My man Overstreet says, in the joint, you can't be fake. You will be exposed. And it's real. I mean, and one of the reasons why we do it like that is because and that mentality when you come out here is because people in the joint, they always trying to play. It's always some trying to get over. It's always some type of scheme or type of scam or something like that. And so you got to be wise. And so it's like you sharpen up your skills when you touch down. It's certain things that you got to be ready for. And if you ain't, they're gonna run over you. And so you bring that out here into the world, and then something else will happen. A little mishaps will happen over here, and next thing you know, fam is gone from you because he don't understand it. So that's one of the downfalls about messing with us coming from out the joint. And we ain't bad guys. I mean, we ready to love, and I think that we good people. It's just that institutionalized is a real thing, and that sometimes is what's gonna carry you in the joint. And so, you know, you just have to be ready for it. So, ladies, don't be mad. It's just it is what it is. I'm trying to find that little quote that what's her name has said real quick. Heather, what happened to that? Because I want to put it back up. There it is. Because we're getting ready to talk about that. Protector. If you want to know if a man is really husband material, he got to be a protector. You know what I mean? He's got to be able to protect you, and not just from harm. We ain't saying okay, he just got to be a big tough guy, black belt, go kick somebody face off. You know what I mean? Because y'all get into some smoke. But yeah, you know what I mean. He definitely gonna stand up. In a situation like that. But he's got to protect you. You know what I mean? Saying like your peace. When you around him, you dig what I'm saying? Y'all life should be peaceful. You know what I mean? Everything when he comes around, and like that's one of the reasons why I be feeling like if you in the streets and you a D boy, one thing you got to remember, man, you're not supposed to expose your woman to that. Yo, because and when God created the man, you supposed to be her covering. And so if you out here and you getting it from the mud and you doing something that's illegal, that's a downfall. That's a bad downfall right there to have your woman into that funk. And ladies, I know sometimes the money is good and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Remember, I had my baby mama on here, and me and my baby mama, we used to get it from the mud. Matter of fact, like every woman that I got kids by then took me to pick up some dope or them drove me when I sold some dope or had to make a sting for somebody when I wasn't there. And so I'm putting myself in the mud, throwing myself up under the bus. I was bad at that one. You know what I mean? But as you grow up and you mature, if you're gonna cover your woman, if you're gonna be a protector, if the police come and get you, they shouldn't have your woman downtown. You know what I mean? Trying to interrogate her and try to question her about who you was with. And yeah, we knew you drove the car to St. Louis to pick up. No, man, y'all shouldn't have to go through that because that's way too much. Because now you taking her out of the house and you know you doing. He said in the streets. You lie, you shoot and hide. And in the federal joint, we learn who we really are. Yeah. Obviously said in prison, we learn who we really are. But as a protector, you should be able to protect her peace. He should be able to protect your peace, and he shouldn't be messy. Like, say for instance, no other woman need to be running up on you talk about your dude try to holler at me. So when you out and about, if he's really husband material, he should protect your heart too. Because you know what I'm saying? If he protects your heart, then at the end of the day, ain't no girl running up on him like, man, your dude was trying to holler at me, or coming back talking about I'm pregnant by him. And y'all in a whole relationship, a marriage over here, or a relationship, and here you got this other chick talking about she pregnant by your guy. Come on, fam. If you on that, fam, you messy, and that's bogus. So ain't no sense sitting down here trying to be with no woman and act like you gonna be that dude for her if you can't protect her peace and if you can't protect her heart. You know what I mean? Um, is he capable of having order in the home? Can he bring peace to the house? Like, discipline the kids, make sure that they doing what they supposed to be doing. Are they cool to be around him? You know what I mean? Does he make them feel comfortable? Making sure homework is done, making sure chores is done. You know what I mean? Even if they ain't your kids, if you bring this man in your life, if he's gonna love you and protect you, he's got to be able to protect your household. His presence as a man has got to be felt in that house. If it don't, then he just wasting time. If he can't bring no order to the house, then it's chaotic. You know what I mean? And God is not the author of confusion. You know what I mean? The Bible tells you that. The scripture says God is not an author of confusion. Um, when Heather was saying, when a man loves you, he learns you. Being a protector, he should already be listening to you. So he know who you are. You know what I mean? He know how you feel. He know how you feel about certain things. He should be trying to learn you out, listening to what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and being respectful of that. You know what I mean? In any relationship, I think that's vice versa, ladies. You gotta try to figure this dude out. You know what I mean? You gotta be listening to him when he talk. When he talking to you, he gonna tell you, what he like and what he don't like. You dig what I'm saying? So ain't no sense in trying to force your way on this man and you living like this and this ain't how he move. You dig what I'm saying? Because the only thing you're gonna do is chase him away. Um, and with that protection, like y'all vows, like say if y'all get married, everything that you said when you when you got married, you know how you stand up there against that line. And I can't repeat everything, but phrase for phrase, through sickness, through health, for richer, for poor. You know what I mean? When you say that you love this person, you're gonna be with this person, you make some vows, man. And then it's like soon as the marriage is over with, when life starts striking you with all these, hardships and stuff like that, next thing you know, all of a sudden you start forgetting what you're supposed to be doing. A protector don't come home and bring his girl a STD. Come on, man. You ain't protecting your woman if you out in the streets and then all of a sudden you bring her home an STD. Come on. And not only that, ladies, you got to be for sure that all of them cheating ways is out of him. If he ain't ready to just be committed to like one woman, what are you doing? Because other than that, you playing. Because if okay, skip the STDs, skip the drama. Okay, I'll give you a true story. Throwing me up under the bus again. I was with my baby mama, but I used to let girls know I got a baby mama. I used to let them know my baby mama ain't going nowhere. So if it's anything that you're trying to do, I mean, you're gonna have to be the side chick. And back then, like in '07, we wasn't really calling them a side chick, but basically that's what she was. But I kept it a buck at all times. Like, listen, she's coming to pick this money up. So if you see this Volvo come around here or this van come around here, this is Oli. Oli coming to pick this bread up. When I leave from over here, I'm going to the crib. You ain't never about to get first place. And you got women who will settle for that. So I don't know who you are. If you settling for that, you settling for less. Don't ever let no man play you like that or do you like that. Here's another reason why. Remember what we just got done talking about. When you start also having sex with multiple people or you doing this and that, this man could be bringing demons into your house. He could be bringing demons into your atmosphere. Ain't no telling who he out there, who he's sleeping with, who this person is, and this and that. So as a protector, you got to protect your woman spiritually. You got to protect her mentally. You got to make sure that she could trust you when you out and about. She shouldn't have to worry about where you are. You dig what I'm saying? You got to protect her heart. She shouldn't have to worry about nobody running up on her saying, "I slept with your dude." You dig what I'm saying? And even if she don't catch you, still be spiritual enough to say, man, I got enough respect for my woman. I'm not bringing this stuff into our house. You know what I mean? We already talked about the vows, keeping your word and stuff like that. What type of time are we on? Okay, 42. So we got a little bit of time. All right, let me see. So now, what kind of woman does he want? You got to figure that out too. Um, so many times I think like, man, we jump in relationships, and just because uh this dude ain't your type or you might not be his type, it don't necessarily mean that he's a bad guy or makes you a bad woman. It just means that maybe y'all ain't compatible. Have you ever thought about that? Because sometimes uh you can be kicking it with me. I'm gonna throw myself up under the bus again. All right, so listen to this. First time I get out the joint, I played it cool for like a whole 6 months. I was, you know what I mean? I was just strictly trying to grind. Ran into this little lady and we was cooling. TV, Netflix, and just like eating. And then all of a sudden, she went to church with me. That right there turned me on. So my whole motto, one of the reasons why I'm giving you this right here, because I used to dream about this stuff when I was in prison, about getting married. Like, remember I was telling you about the womanizing ways, and then what I went to prison for. It's like, God, if you'll give me a wife, you know what I mean, somebody that loves the Bible, loves you and stuff like that, I'm gonna be happy. I'll go somewhere and sit down, sit all the way down. Now back to this little story. Shorty was cool, but I did not know that the type of guy that she wanted was like a factory worker. You dig what I'm saying? And so since we met in a factory or we was working in a factory, you know, I think that's who she thought I was. And so slowly but surely, the bare truth got the popping. Slowly but surely, the haircut clientele got the popping up. Next thing you know, I'm doing like little public speaking engagements and stuff like that. But she was never happy for that. It's like if I say anything about cutting hair, she'd be like, "Well, aren't you gonna go company when it's your time?" If I was you, I would just go company and I would do that on the side. And I'm thinking like to myself, like, hell no. Like, I ain't about to be in here working no 12 hours, coming home, feet hurting, back and stuff hurting, can't go to the gym and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, this is cool for right now, but this ain't what I do. You dig what I'm saying? And they couldn't even understand it. Like, why he come to work dressed up? Because that's what I like to do. I like to get fresh. So I ain't never really worked a job where I'm in there sweating and I'm dirty. I'm like, man, no. You dig what I'm saying? So the whole time I'm in here working, I'm not knowing that this is what she want. True story, fam. We literally fell out because because I asked her, why don't you get your hair done sometimes? Why don't you get your nails done, get glammed up so we can go out? And so she thought that I was dissing her. She actually thought that I was like, oh, so you don't like me? You don't like, and it was like this. Shorty, I seen you get dressed up and go to church, throw on some heels and a dress. And now all of a sudden, now that we're together, remember what I was talking about, ladies? Like, don't get into a sensual stupor where now you feel like you got this guy. Now you just walking around in shorts and t-shirts and a ponytail and flip-flops. Man, cooler than a fan, man. Made sure that I eat. When I was in a hotel eating off the microwave trays and out the microwaves, boom, I had dropped down in my weight. Boom, she picked me like right back up. Got me, me, little bitty things mean a lot to me. So I was like, cool. Like, man, she was feeding me. She leave from work. Now she got she's a career. So, she get paid like a certain amount a year. You dig what I'm saying? She like a boss up in there. I'm just a worker. But at the end of the day, I'm doing a 12-hour shift. She's only doing 8 hours. But the moral of the story was like, she would leave me like lunches and stuff like that. She would fill my lunchbox up. And little stuff like that used to turn me on. I was cool with that because I'm thinking like, damn, she really in my corner. She trying to take care of me and little stuff like that. But she really just wanted a factory guy. You dig what I'm saying? She really wanted a factory guy. So here I am throwing on clothes, you know, go somewhere and see like a fresh little pair of shoes, jump in his shoes, come over there fresh, thinking that, you know what I mean, maybe that might motivate her to put on something so we can go somewhere. Like, nope, she ain't doing none of that. She just staying at the crib. You dig what I'm saying? And so I asked her about it, man, and we fell out. So that lasted like, you know what I mean, like about 2.5 months. You dig what I'm saying? But the moral of the story is this, man. Figure out who it is that you like and make sure that fam like you. Because y'all don't want to get to wasting no time. Then all of a sudden now y'all starting to figure out, like, you know what? I don't even like your style. You know what I mean? I don't care for who you are. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all just got like two different personalities. And then what'll happen is you'll start experimenting with other people's heart. Now all of a sudden you're an experiment. You dig what I'm saying? So now you just going through the motions. Now you just got a bunch of dates. And then you know how it is out here. 9 times out of 10, some type of sex is gonna pop off. It's gonna pop off. And a lot of times I'm giving it to you from the biblical point of view. So I'm trying to like tell you what God wants, but I don't always, you know what I mean? I'm not the best at it either. Keeping it 100. We're just gonna keep it a buck. This the bare truth. We're gonna keep it a bare truth. So, but this is what I'm saying. You do not want to get into this thing. Like, okay, before it gets too deep or really start happening, you should probably figure the sex thing out because when the sex thing gets involved, now all of a sudden y'all attached to each other. You know what I mean? And then you might be like, okay, I think I want to chill, but then again, you still probably want to have sex. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, y'all be back and forth, still getting together just for that. And then next thing you know, you using that to try to make the relationship work, but that ain't what's gonna keep it. So, ladies, I'm trying to tell you, you know what I mean. So when you get to talking about like, oh, he need to be 6 feet tall, dark, and handsome, a lot of times your type is the toxic type. You dig what I'm saying? You're gonna get with him just because that's your type. He can still be toxic, and then when you add sex to it, it just don't work. Love a person enough to let him go. You know what I mean? But a real husband should always know what he wants. Remember that. Love a person, but love them enough to, you know what I mean? Like, let them go. Like, fam, listen, I think you cool. I got a lot of respect for you, but it ain't us. Deuces. You know what I mean? And how come you can't do that? Grown people should be able to do that. Okay. You're blessed, bro. Respect. When I love, but I hate. Hold on. Let me get that up there. Who said that? Say that. Okay. What's up, fam? He said, you're blessed, bro. Respect. When I love, but I hate dating. Man, you speaking the truth. And that's the truth though, Fred. You dig what I'm saying? And I mean, I think you could pretty much relate to it though, because we grew up in the town, you know what I mean? And we didn't have our fair share of house parties and being and like sleeping around. So I really wish that I can give this to the younger generation. I really wish that they would listen to me and then maybe they'll save themselves a lot of funk because it ain't just about okay, I'm young, let me have a bunch of fun. What you really doing is when you out here and you having a bunch of sex with a bunch of different people, you messing your life up. And when you so confused and screwed up and you can't get it together, you got to try to figure out who you've been sleeping with. What's going on in his family? Where he come from? What kind of people are they? Who else he been sleeping with? Y'all sitting out here attaching all these souls, then added with these drugs, and then y'all got all of these dumb guns, and y'all wonder why everything out there is crazy. That's the reason why it's crazy. You dig what I'm saying? Joel Noyce said, hold on. It's a lot of people tapping in. I like that. She says, yep, you're right about the type. Sometimes a woman, we get tapped into the same type of man that is toxic for us. It becomes a trait and it's really sad. And something else, Joy, this is what dude was telling me that I found out. He says sometimes you can start having sex with a person that's toxic for you and some of his old dirty ways of him being verbally abusive and physically abusive to you, after you keep having sex with him and don't break the relationship off, next thing you know, you start attracting them same type of men. All of a sudden now, you want a man who's gonna, you know what I mean, punch on you. You don't really think he's cool. Oh, he don't love me if he don't hit me. Like, hell no. You dig what I'm saying? And do you be thinking like people be wondering like, man, girl, why you crazy? Nicole, that's it. It's soul ties. You know what I mean? When you tie your soul to something else, next thing you know, you pull from that. Now and all of a sudden, you start feeling like him. You start thinking like him. You start thinking that it's okay that he talked to you the way that he talked to you, or that he did what he did to you. You dig what I'm saying? And these young cats, these young women out here, they don't know that though. And I learned it a little bit too late, because one thing I can say is I always like relationships. So like me and my baby moms, the ladies that I did have kids by, at one point in time there was a love that we felt for each other, and I really wanted to be like the family guy. You know what I mean? Because I always wanted it. You know what I mean? And I grew up in the house with my grandmother and stuff like that, and so we was always like a tight family. But I wanted to be that one to be in the house with the kids. That father stuff. I just didn't have the knowledge back then. You dig what I'm saying? And so that's how it goes. You know what I mean? But that's really real. Okay. The last one too, and this should be easy, sweetheart. Does he want to be married? You know what I mean? If you looking for a husband, you shouldn't have to keep reminding him about, man, I can't wait for my wedding day. I'm gonna wear this and I'm gonna dress up like this and that. You should be able to peep her eyes, like with her eyes, get big when she see one of her friends getting married, how excited she is to be in that. You know what I mean? If he don't want to go to the wedding, or he looking at other couples and he always grumpy, like, man, we don't need to get married. We together. We've been together for like 7 years. We what do they call it, civil marriage, like you married by law, like after like 7 years. That's the best he can come up with. So he'll even do some, like, make you try to feel cooler. He'll go try to get you like a little ring, a dope little ring, and be like, man, we don't need all that, we're already married. I'm gonna tell you something. If fam is scared to commit, he ain't the one. You know what I mean? Because when you get ready to commit, it means something. So remember back at the beginning when we was like, okay, you should already be a husband. You should already be a husband material when you get with a woman if you're looking for a wife. Know that about him. He should already have that mentality. He should already be a protector. He should be concerned about you. He should be pursuing you. You know, and like at my age, fam, I'm not looking for nothing less. You know what I mean? I'm not looking for nothing less. You know what I mean? So that's why we're trying to tell you, these relationships, they count. Everything counts. I do not want to be in a position where I wasted time. I don't got the time to waste. I'm trying to get it together, man, so we can get somewhere and sit down, enjoy life, get our credit together, go. You know what I mean? It's so much stuff that we can do. And then at the same time, man, I don't want to hang out with no dudes for the rest of my life. I've been in prison for like 15 years. I'm tired of homies. If you see me, I'll be by myself, man. I want a wife, man. I'm tired of, I got guys. I love them. Listen, man, shout out to y'all, man. We can get together, you know what I mean, on venues, birthdays, and special occasions like that. But, man, I ain't riding around with no dudes. I ain't hanging with no dudes. I'm tired of y'all, man, straight up. I want a wife. Real talk. He needs to act like he want to be married. You know what I mean? He talks about it. He loves married couples. He should love to see other couples thriving. You know what I mean? When you see good people, good relationship, you know what I mean? He should be happy to see that. Like, man, I like what they doing over there. You know what I mean? And because I do, I like to see couples like Valerie and Legs. They still married. You know what I mean? And I ain't seen her since I've been there. But like Terry, that's my guy from the town. I've been knowing him for so long. They married. Like Glenda and Mike Westerfield, they still married. I take my hat off to E and Connie. You know what I mean? Married. And when you seeing them like do like boss moves, like getting like clothing stores, Devin and Shamela. Devin and Shamela be looking so good at the white and black parties. You dig what I'm saying? And then to see their kids doing stuff like that. You dig what I'm saying? The love is just not only in them, it starts spilling over into their kids, into their families. Then that's when you start seeing that success pop off. Now everybody doing good. You dig what I'm saying? You start seeing their kids doing good. Man, it ain't nothing like being married, like black excellence, like Marshall and Auntie Josephine yesterday. Uncle Marshall and Josephine sitting them at the table, smiling. You know what I mean? And they know each other, what they talking about. So I walk up, I give her a kiss and I give her a hug. First thing she say to me is, yeah, I'm gonna have to get you over there to the house to cut his hair. Now he over there having a conversation. So I come around, I shake his hand and I give him a hug. Yeah, man. One day I'm gonna have you pack your clippers up and come on out and cut my hair. Now they just said the exact same thing. So they think alike, they feeling alike, they move alike. Like when my mom and Horse was on they move, I told you, if you wasn't going to church in here on Sunday mornings, they would put you out of this house. I love it. It ain't nothing like it. That's what we supposed to be doing anyway. You dig what I'm saying? That's what God blesses. God blesses a marriage, man. You dig what I'm saying? When you get you find that wife, you go somewhere and you sit down. That's it. Because if you think about it, out of all the times when we was younger and we was chasing like like little chicks, okay, like say if this chick got a nice butt, or this chick right here is supposed to be free because she do this and that, boy, at the end of the day, don't none of that mean nothing. I ain't never been out just creeping in the streets and just fell in love off no one night. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know, one night stand. Now I'm in love with you. Yeah, you might have had some good where we done kicked it a few more times, but we ain't never just been, you know what I mean? Like that. This ain't no pretty woman. Y'all get to watching movies, boy, and it's gonna leave you hurt. Your stomach gonna be hurt. You dig what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to tell you what's real out here. What's real is what God created. You remember when he created the man was already formed. He had already did his thing. God created the man, he formed him, and everything in the man was done. Remember, he brought him all the animals. He gave him his mission. He's like, go be fruitful and multiply. Then all of a sudden he brought him the woman. Then when he bring him the woman, he says, it's not good for man to be alone. So I will make him a helper. But the helper was to come to glorify God. And then this man got this mission. Then she's got a mission. And you see how it worked? You see how the first lady, LaFaya May Barnum, how she was talking and how she speaks with so much grace. But guess what? My cousin Fonzo was right there in the side. He's on the sideline typing in stuff, the address, supporting her. You dig what I'm saying? But also, he's in my inbox where y'all can't even see it. Like she's the truth. Like he rooting for his wife. Like he's supporting her. That's the type of ish I want, bro. I want that like ride or die. Like, you know what I mean? Like we against the world, boy. We out here, we playing, and we got guns, and we go. Nah, I'm just playing. But for real, pocket knives and mace, and you know what I mean? Like we ain't for none. But for real, I'm trying to find that. You dig what I'm saying? I need that in my life. I definitely don't want to be around here playing all for the rest of my life. So just remember, the husband type, he should already be, husband material. He should have that mentality. He should already, what I mean, be thinking like a husband. Listen to his conversation. Do he talk like a husband? Do he sound like a husband? Look at his friends. That's my dog. Oh man, fuck bitches and man, them bitches ain't shit. Oh, you got some girls? Hook me up with one of your girls. Mm-mm. If that's his dog, fam, I'm trying to tell you, believe me, listen to me when I tell you that. Peep out his conversation, check out his goals. Where is he going in life? Is he serious about life? Do he even like working? Man, don't get wrapped up into no guy that just think that he gonna keep selling dope. He happy with selling dope. You got a D boy and he think it's cool. Like shit, I'm out here getting this bag. I don't care what you talking about, sitting up popping pills and snorting powder and drinking and smoking all day. That ain't no husband. Cause I'm telling you, he going to the feds or he going to the state. And I ain't gonna say 9 times out of 10, but like 6 times out of 10, they gonna be stabbing a dude in the prison. They going the other route. You dig what I'm saying? And I hate to say it, but that's it. But listen to me when I tell you that's not husband material. Um, Make sure that you his type. Don't be sitting up there, you know what I mean, and you can't never make him happy. He ain't never satisfied. He always complaining, but yet and still you like him so much that you just trying to force us. Listen, if that dude don't like you, man, move around. Straight up. Don't waste your time. You dig what I'm saying? Because God is an awesome God. There's somebody out here for everybody. You dig what I'm saying? He gonna put somebody in your life that's gonna make you happy, that's gonna love you. He wouldn't be God if he didn't do it. So there's somebody, and stop thinking that he's got to be a football player or a basketball player height. Straight up, because you're not gonna find love in that. So while you sleeping around doing that, I'm telling you, you're subtracting from yourself. You mess around and find your husband, and then you just got a big hole between your legs, and you can't satisfy him. Ain't nobody happy with that. Don't want to be graphic, but it's real though. You done messed up. You jagged your Mac. He got to be prepared. You know what I mean? It's just like straight up. He pursues you, he talks about it. It's like, man, he protects you. It's like he protects your peace. When you're around him, you got to feel comfortable. When you're around fam, I mean, is he cool? Do you feel safe when you're around him? Is it drama? Is he always yelling? Is he angry? Is he pissed off all the time? You know what I'm saying? When you come around, or do you got other girls running up on you talking about, man, he was just over my house the other night, you know what I mean? So yeah, we at the 9 minute mark, but we could talk about that all the time. And ladies, you got to be the wife type. You dig what I'm saying? You got to have your stuff together too, so it go both ways. I don't know what we're gonna do next Sunday. We might even go soulmate. You know what I mean? I be studying a lot on that. I don't know. I figure it out. I will pray about it. But listen to this, man. Um, it is so important that you take these, be serious. You know what I mean? Because you got kids and they trying to look up to us. And at the same time, if you really believe in God, a marriage represents God on earth, and you really want to be blessed, I tell you what, fellas, treat that lady like a queen. You dig what I'm saying? And cover her like God told you to do, and protect her like God told you to do. And I'm guarantee you, He gonna bless you. And ladies, if you find you a good guy and he does that, you got to go ahead and reciprocate that energy. You got to make sure that you're giving it back. Make sure you listen to dudes. A lot of times y'all don't be listening. Y'all so busy moving fast and trying to jump ahead of the gun because y'all don't got no patience. You dig what I'm saying? And listen to try to see what's going on in his life. Sometimes men, they don't always open up. So you have to just try to like listen to see what is he saying. Cause he ain't like he gonna always just tell you everything that he's hurting about. Y'all all too emotional, wanna, you know what I mean? But sometimes guys ain't like that, man. But I'm just trying to say this, and this is the bare truth. When you find somebody that's cool, that you feel like you can settle down and win the race with, you're going to figure out that's what life is about. Life is about you and him and your family submitting to God, surrendering to God, and just walking this life. It's not saying that every day is going to be the best days, like it ain't going to be a struggle, it's not going to be a challenge. No, but you know what? You worth fighting. You know what I mean? Remember that quote that I was saying like on Thursday? Nothing in life is easy, but who wants nothing? Man, I want to be married, fam. I don't know about you, but you can do whatever you want to do with your life. Keep popping pills and snorting powder, laying up with people and having sex. When them STDs and herpes come around your lips and your your mouth, around your genitals, bumps and pus. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm playing too much. I'm out of here. Bare true, baby.